18 years ago, a tower appeared out of nowhere, and at the foot of it, a gate opened from which various monsters began to come out. In addition, a small group of people with superhuman abilities appeared who called themselves players. They became the hope of humanity's salvation and acted as a defense against the attacking monsters. Also, with the advent of players in the world, the game economy developed, and superhumans became symbols of wealth and envy. But our main character is not such. He is the most ordinary person who works part-time as a food deliverer. He once again delivers an order to some guild, simultaneously apologizing for his delay. On the way back, the guy notices a banner that tells about an outstanding hero of South Korea who has unique abilities. People like him seem to have cheat keys to this world. The guy's thoughts are interrupted by the driver of the car behind him, shouting about the green light of the traffic light and the slowness of the young man, who immediately apologizes and starts driving. After that, we see him late in the evening when we get home. The guy parks his scooter when he notices a mountain of incoming papers in the mailbox. He runs over excitedly to check the contents of the emails, but they turn out to be credit bills, medical fees, and a school alert. This disappoints him, and the young man goes home. There, his sister meets him, explaining the reason for her wakefulness by doing homework. Her brother asks her if her mother is still asleep, to which the girl agrees, noting that today she sleeps better than usual. The guy sighs with relief, noticing that he will need to give his mother a massage. Suddenly, his sister wishes him a happy birthday and hands him a chocolate cake. The surprised guy asks where she got the money for him and whether she spent the money he gave her to buy clothes. The girl denies this, saying that she also has a lot of money, and if her brother does not have it, then she will eat it all alone because he loves chocolate cake. His sister also brags that she bought it in a very famous store, but the guy doesn't listen to her, looking only at the girl's shabby clothes. He calls her name and thanks her for the opportunity to eat a cake for his birthday. His sister suggests that he first read the letter she has prepared, and his brother happily agrees. He opens the envelope and looks at the letter inside in a daze. It turns out to be an invitation from a player from the Players Association. The guy's eyes are filled with tears, and he happily shouts that he has become a player. The sister says that she took it out of the mailbox to surprise him and sincerely congratulates her brother. And he, in turn, thinks that he will finally be able to change their lives and cure their mother. But for this you need to find the very thing. The next day, the guy comes to the Korean Players Association. The guy's hands are shaking with mixed emotions, but he tries to pull himself together because this is just the beginning. He is met by the manager, and we finally learn the name of the main character, Kim Gi-kyle. She explains that if the player says information window, then the player's information will appear and offers to try it out. Kim opens the information window, wondering what the question marks next to the line with unique abilities mean. The manager excitedly congratulates him, explaining that he has unique abilities, which at the moment are not identified yet. Kim begins to shake with emotion again, and another player becomes interested in their conversation. The girl asks him to calm down and adds that his coach will come soon and explain everything in detail. Their conversation is interrupted and the manager turns around, assuming that the coach has already arrived. But it turns out to be player Yu Seok-woo, known for his unique abilities, who asks, can he hold Kim Gi-kyle? The guy asks again in surprise, and Yu Seok admits that he didn't intentionally overhear their conversation and heard that he has unique abilities. The manager says that according to the rules, you can't do this, but this time she will make an exception because her authority is enough for this and there is no reason to worry. Yu Seok takes him to the portal area, which surprises Kim Gi. Without hesitation, the unique player offers to go inside, and getting consent reassures that there is nothing to worry about. When they enter, the guy is immediately alarmed by the number of monsters, which he immediately asks his escort. He replies that this place sometimes has overlaps with time, leading to a cluster of monsters, but this is the first time he has seen this in person. This scares the main character, but Yu Seok replies that it will allow him to explain everything much faster. He asks Kim about his knowledge of the 100 Goblin test, which was banned because of its danger. This test was aimed at players below level 10 to test their ability. It measures a player's potential if they kill 100 goblins without using skills in a certain amount of time. For example, if you complete a task in 5 hours, a person instantly becomes an advanced player. If in 3 hours, then by a ranked player. And if in 1 hour, then we can safely say that the person has high-ranking abilities. Well, the time for passing this test by a player with unique abilities is 10 minutes. That is why the owners the unique abilities are simply amazing. Kim indignantly asks, why is he given so little time to pass the test? Yu Seok replies that those with unique abilities surpass ordinary players by dozens of times. So the speed of growth and their potential are beyond imagination. He also tells the story of the Angel Guild, where most of the members pass the Goblin test in less than 3 hours. Yu Seok plans to create a guild that will be many times superior to the Angel Guild, and for this he needs capable players, and in particular owners of unique abilities. In the meantime, he wishes the new player more than once to go beyond their capabilities, promising that one day they will meet again in the tower. Yu Seokun freezes the monster and offers to start the first hunt for Kim-gi. He advises the boy to strain his legs and back, trying to tear the axe out of the goblin's hands with his eyes. Starting a fight, the young man mentally promises to change his life. After that, there is a 5-year time skip. From the thicket of the forest come the sounds of a fight, watched by someone's mentor. A late player approaches him, and the waiting person shows him a funny picture. At this point, Kim finishes off the monster and tries hard to catch her breath. Those watching from behind the bushes are talking about the 100 Goblins test, which has become popular again, and the guy meanwhile calls up an information window, looking at which he immediately begins to get angry. He hits the ground with his fists, shouting obscenities in frustration, which greatly surprises the two onlookers. Kim feels pathetic because of what's more. Even after 5 years of training, it still takes an hour to destroy a single goblin, and its level is still first. After that, we are shown a group of players that easily deals with monsters. When everyone was able to increase their level, the group guide leaves them, agreeing to meet them tomorrow on the 2nd floor of the tower. Looking after him, the guys start whispering about his fame, sharing with each other the rumors they heard. One of them says that he is considered the owner of unique abilities, but most likely this is not true, because otherwise he would not be there on this floor with them. Also, this guy says that their guide is the first player from below, which puzzles his interlocutors. Explaining his words, he says that he is not even a ranker and has the nickname of a player among the players, which cannot increase the level. Every day, after finishing the guide's work, Kim goes to his secret place, a remote corner on the 1st floor where other players do not look. There is only one monster that he fights every day. The guy carefully steps out from behind the tree, trying to approach the monster unnoticed, but after a few steps he is discovered and he has to defend himself from the blows of the spear. It will be a fierce battle. In the evening, he goes to the Players Association for payment. As Kim walks down the hall, he thinks about selling the crystal he knocked out of the monster, but subtracting the cost of the potion spent, it won't bring any profit. Suddenly, his friend Theo comes out of the office where he was going. The guy asks if he finished his work, noting that his friend works hard. Theo apologizes to him and leaves, leaving Kim baffled. The young man asks the manager what happened at Theo's. He doesn't answer, so the main character calls him again, to which the general manager already answers. It reports that the group, the one Kim worked with today, will be handled by Theo because of the rumors that have reached them. The guy doesn't understand how this is related to the work of the guide, but he can't do anything about it because the rumors don't lie. Suddenly, he is distracted by the news from the TV, where they talk about Angela's plans to conquer the 75th floor. Kim asks, why is everyone so obsessed with the players? Because they are just ordinary people who didn't even go near the tower. The manager replies that the players are a kind of idols, and the gate can be opened anywhere. The guy listens to the news with half an ear, thinking more and more about how far he is from all this, even though he is a player. Annoyed, Kim turns off the TV and takes her payment for the day. The manager asks him not to be offended by Theo, to which the guy immediately agrees, because it's not his fault. Also, the man asks to come early tomorrow to take a shift and says that a request has been received in his name. The next day, he meets Kim Sung-pil, who confesses that he has heard a lot about Kim Kyu from Seok-woo. The guy asks, who are they to each other? To which the interlocutor says that they are cousins. First, he introduces his team members, Yoon Yoo-won, Yoon Sung-woo, and Kim Han-il. The guide tells them that they need to pass the 1st floor in 5 days and promises to explain everything else along the way, offering to move out. In the late afternoon, they camp, Kim preparing food while the others set up tents. Everyone admires the wonderful smell of food, i.e. one asks, is it true that the level of their chaperone doesn't go up? Sung-pil rebukes him, but Gi Kyu replies that it's fine and suggests that they ask if anything is interesting, turning the topic to today's hunt. The guys say that it was easier than they expected, and there are only a couple of scratches that can be cured with a potion. The guide confirms that the goblins on the 1st floor have bad weapons and their movements are noticeable, so this can be considered training for the upcoming battles. He also advises you to always keep your eyes peeled in the future and keep raising your score. Level up, and then everything will only work out if they don't meet the guardian. These are patron spirits that live on each floor in a single instance. They are hunted by entire guilds or large teams. In other words, it is the strongest monster that is the guardian of the gate. Although you can get a lot of experience points and good items from it, they are extremely dangerous, and low-level players, especially alone, will never be able to cope with them. This story scares the guys from the squad, so Gikayu tries to calm them down by saying that the guild monitors their regeneration cycle, and there is also a guild that hunts these guardians. At this time, on the 4th floor of the tower in the border zone of the forest, a goblin runs among the trees. Suddenly, he stumbles over a rock and falls to the ground with a crash, and the guardian of this floor immediately catches up with him and kills him.